Welcome back to T&E. I'm Dokat. I'm joined by a new person. Unfortunately, Dragon had to leave due to certain things happening. I think she got a little bit sick. Um, but yeah, Game Grop, how you going?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself, Duocat?
I'm doing pretty good so far. Had a solo cast the entire time. Kind of was hard. Um,
I can imagine.
yeah. What kind of like we got our feature match going pretty soon. It's gonna be let me take a look. Almost versus Beowulf. What do you think is most interesting about this match? I think almost sex like most interesting out of all of the decks that we have here.
Yeah,
One
I
of the most
definitely
interesting.
agree. I think the Huru Aegis deck, not something that was particularly on my radar going into this. Obviously, I haven't been keeping as much of an attention on the metagame going into these TNEs as I am preparing for the Open next week. But
Okay.
the FJS Unleashed deck that Beowulf is on, something much more on my radar than the Huru Aegis deck, at least.
Yeah, be interesting to see how this Courageous deck does. Um, yeah,
Yeah, I am interested myself. I think the Skycrag Synthesis in particular, I played around with that card a little bit, and Skycrag Synthesis personally, to me, has not been very impressive. I'm interested to see how much utility they get out of it in the current Expedition metagame, especially as being as unit dominated as it is.
yeah,
But the Inscribe, always a benefit of those kinds of cards. The very modal. If it's dead, you could just play it as power.
yeah. I think the only thing that saves it pretty much is the fact that it has inscribed. So the only reason you can play it. Um, yeah. And then obviously, Beowulf is playing the FGS Unleashed deck that has been dominating ladder, other than RG4 control recently. Um, you know, just the whole shebang. It looks like we're getting into the match. Um, I like this. I don't like any of these hands. I think this hand are gonna be tossed.
Yeah, definitely agree. I think that the curve is not there for the Huru deck, and obviously the one power is almost
Yeah,
certainly an instant mulligan for Beowulf.
yeah. Um, looks like we're just waiting on them to get good to go before we see any mulligans. But yeah, who do you think? Like, we'll give it a little bit of prediction right now. Who do you think's gonna take it?
I think that it's very dependent. I think the Huru deck is definitely the aggressor in this situation because
Yeah,
they don't have the late game power that the Unleash deck definitely has. Unleash,
for sure.
obviously, in and of itself, is a very late game oriented mechanic. You get to 9 power, you can play 3 copies of your Golden Horn security, and then just start to take over the game. And the Huru deck doesn't really have the tools to deal with that once that's happened. They don't have the board wipes outside of something like the one of Spared Fate that they have, or the Display of Survival, which they would
Yeah,
have to be constantly holding up. So they definitely need to curve out into something like a Terry Mount, into Plunk, into Feral Serpent. A
yeah,
very interesting keep by almost, though. I'm
yeah.
definitely intrigued as to the thought process behind this one.
Oh yeah, and you don't. It doesn't have to be like late game if you have a Reminder's Musket though. To
Hmm.
be fair, for the Unleashed deck.
Very, very true. But that still just leans into the Huru deck needing to out aggro before the
Yeah,
Miner's Musket and the Unleash synergies can come down. As we see the
as you see
Miner's
the
Musket hitting that Unleash unit.
yeah. Because I believe these Unleashed decks run like four copies of Black Book, and that's like the only non-Unleashed unit in the deck.
Uh, in this version, Beowulf's also running 2 Olin of Olmsted
Okay,
to tutor
did
for the
tutor for
Unleash
them, yeah,
units.
yeah.
But
That's actually pretty
more
smart.
often than... Sorry, go ahead.
I was saying that's pretty smart. Anyways, we see an island come down. Uh,
Hmm.
so I interrupted you there.
No, it's no problem. Uh, yeah, more likely than not, you're going to hit an Unleash unit with the Miner's Musket, and if you don't,
Yeah,
a 3-cost Black Book or a 1-cost Tutor effect.
yeah.
Nothing to sneeze at.
That's true. We see four threes come down on this turn that they buff each other. That's I think that's a lethal. No, it would have been a lethal attack next turn if they didn't fight the Pong. Um,
Yeah, almost definitely not in
not in
good
the
shape here.
yeah. We're gonna
The
see
display of survival had to be held up.
yeah we're gonna see Yeah, big three. Big 24 damage attack, which is going to be negated by the display survival. Still going to take 16 though.
Yeah, the 16 taking him down to 7 here. Gets to eat one of the dinosaurs, or sorry, gets to eat one of the units that he transformed into the dinosaur, gets to trade with the plunk. He's going to be able to have another plunk coming down next turn as a blocker, so he's going to be staving it off for now.
Yeah.
But with that Through the Unknown in Beowulf's hand, able to bring back the Golden Horn security, I'd imagine we're not long for this game.
Yeah, and the Golden Horn security, yeah, that's pretty much gonna
Mm-hmm.
be GG there. Um, Unfortunately, I think almost has like a has no chance. At this point, you can drop a dynamite, but that's about all you can do. You can also permafrost and hold up the Skycrest this without playing a plunk as well. But and that saves you for a couple turns. But unfortunately, they don't have the big dumb display to stop the onslaught of forces that are about to come down.
Correct. And unfortunately, the Skycrag synthesis, and this is what I was talking about earlier with me being personally a little bit unimpressed by it. The Skycrag synthesis having to hold up that 3 power in an expedition format like this, where
Yeah,
you quite often want to be playing on your turns and doing all of your impressive, powerful things and tapping out. Skycrag synthesis becomes less and less enticing to me when something like this happens, where you can't afford to hold up the 3 power, so your opponent sneaks the one spell in that they needed to play, and suddenly your
yeah,
Skycrag synthesis is dead.
yeah, pretty much. We're not gonna see a block on the punk. Maybe it's saving for the turn that they can maybe survive on.
Yeah, I
Um,
don't hate this. I definitely think blocking here, going to 2 is basically the same as going to 6 once that Golden Horn security comes down. And
yeah,
so the life total difference is not huge, and you'd rather save the plunk to potentially have blocks on a more lethal Golden Horn security.
yeah. The to almost his credit, they do have at least one board wipe in their deck and Spared Fate that can get rid of all
Correct.
these.
And
Um,
that's, I'd imagine, what Beowulf is playing around right now. No reason to commit the Golden Horn security when you're this far ahead and in
yeah,
such a commanding position.
we're gonna see a swing from almost. I'm not quite sure about that swing, other than maybe if you're gonna drop a dynamite. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with the targeted removal that's swarming through Beowulf's deck, the Aegis unit is going to be the guaranteed blocker, and without the charge units present in the deck to really put up a threat, you know you're safe for this turn at the very least.
yeah, we're not playing Praxis, that's for sure,
And this,
and that's lethal. 1 point of damage. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if almost his deck was very good there. I like the deck though. It's interesting. Um, yeah, and it looks like you're a black screen. Oh, there you're back. Um, yeah. What do you think of what do you think of that game? Yeah, they definitely weren't. Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah. Luckily, that's not the end of the entire match. They almost has a chance to come back with the 2 wins. Hand is a bit weird keep. There might have been like 30 Molten once, and they kept it because they don't have anything else to keep. Looks like we're gonna see a Miner's Musket turn turn two. So there goes the start of all the stuff, all the shenanigans and chicanery. Yeah, that wisdom was kind of important with this hand too. We're gonna probably see a Feral Serpent. Yeah, Feral Serpent come down with the contract, which is gonna set them behind a turn. Do you go back to what you were saying about them being aggressor? Yeah, that's fair. That is true. However, it does allow them to race. Yeah. Yeah, especially with the lifesteal that comes from the alchemy student as well. Kill the miner's musket, swing for 4. Um, we'll see probably a power drop and an alchemy student come down. And oh, yeah, that is interesting.
Time to pay your debts.
You think we're gonna see another miner's musket?
Do you still
No, we're just gonna see a golden horn. All right. Yeah.
Plank is so safe.
Yeah. We're gonna see another feral serpent come down. This is some pretty decent pressure coming from almost as well compared to 3eowulf's board. Yeah. Get a block from we get the taunt blocks from almost Plunk is gone. But yeah. Yeah, we're gonna see the alchemy student finally come down and grace the feral serpent with lifesteal. Yeah.
time to pay your debts?
Now we're gonna see a black book, I guess. $15. Yeah. Um, not sure Cold Deck's gonna do much unless it finds that like nothing remains. Well, even nothing remains is nothing here because Aegis. Yeah. Elven Elder does save them. The, yeah.
Time to pay your debts.
I'm kind of happy about that actually.
Suffer for your arrogance.
All right. So, do you think that do you think that Blackwood cost Yeah. Yeah, that's always possible. Alright. Here we are in game 3. This hand is not the aggressor, but it does stop a big unleash turn, because we do have a Miner's Musket in hand for 3eowulf. The display will come in clutch here. No shenanigans at this time because of the fact that I didn't draw a single unit that turn. Whenever I play this deck, this Unleash deck, I always like draw power right after Miner's Musketing, so. Yeah, for sure. Alright, we might see a Elder, I mean a Feral Serpent, but I'm not quite sure about that play. We could also see a Primal Sigil Permafrost into keeping a display up. Yeah, I can do that. Alright. Looks like, yeah. 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 Anyways, we're gonna see a Feral Serpent come down. Um, Sorry about that, guys. Uh, we're having some technical difficulties. The game graph has apparently been muted the entire time. Tinker Unionist comes down with a double Unleash here. Um,
This might be
Alchemy Student comes down with the lifesteal buff on that. That's gonna give 5 life to almost Deed of Glory. You see the Tinker Unionist come down and they're gonna not attack apparently. And gonna swing with Tinker Unionist. He's gonna swing with Tinker Unionist. Taking 2, going on 24. The unfortunate thing is Almost is outracing 3eowulf here. Beowulf here. Draw the Shadow Sigil off the cold deck. Olin comes down. I'll be putting an Unleash unit, the Unleash unit that was on top on deck, Trolly on top. I have no way to see it. And we're gonna see draw of Plumpkin from Almost. Gonna swing with the Feral Serpent almost instantly.
planted.
Pumpkin comes down. Rain Gorillas is a top deck. That looks like the card they put on top with Olin. Swinging for 6 here. Blocking with the Plunk because they have to block with the taunt. Feral Serpent comes down. Rain Gorillas comes down. Breaking the Permafrost on the Parliament Elder, and then Rain Gorillas comes down again, just as a 5/4. And they pass. Now Beowulf has a big event, big advantage here. That changed with the display there, though. So, Dynamite comes down off the Almost. 3eowulf, 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 Having a just sigil off the yeah. We're gonna see probably gonna see the nothing come down actually. I wouldn't be surprised if Beowulf like prize popping with the 8. Yep. Does it right as I say it. Icicles, that's lethal,
Testing.
isn't it? No, because we got a block here. That's 3 damage, 4. Alright, no, it's not lethal.
Okay.
I miscalculated that. Okay,
All
welcome
right.
back.
I am back. I'm not quite sure what happened, but happy to be back here in this game 3.
Yeah, they probably made a couple of the moments awkward, but well, welcome back.
Good to
We're
be
in the
back.
middle of a face race between Almost and Beowulf. Um, I wouldn't be surprised if we see an Icicles here without like the Overwhelm, with the full tanking on the Parliament Elder. Except we're not going to see that. We're going to see it on the kill there.
Get the overwhelm damage, trigger island so that
Yeah.
power next turn isn't out for channel the tempest, but
Well,
even
it's not
then you're
quite
forced to
though.
chump block.
Not quite though because of the fact that it's 8 instead of 7, but it's still going to be enough for Beowulf to coup. Almost wins the match.
You know, almost takes it. Yeah, channel the tempest would not have been an out on its own with the power draw, but the 3 damage to trigger island and give it flying, then 2 flying blockers coming through. The only thing that would have happened there would have been Parliament Elder, and then if Beowulf had played Power Parliament Elder, he would have only had 3 blockers, so you would have had to chump both flyers and throw the other one over the Overwhelm unit, and
Yeah.
then that Overwhelm's over for lethal.
Yeah, so either way, it was probably death for Beowulf. We're gonna see if there's another match. Um,
One match still going on,
Possibly.
has been reported, so we're checking to see if we can get another feature match here for you guys here.
Yeah, we're still
Yeah.
seeing if see if there's still a match going.
Very curious to see.
Okay.
I'm curious to see if we can get some more Courageous FJS Unleashed matches further down the line, because I'm interested to see if
Yeah.
my initial understanding of the matchup was wrong or not. Because I definitely think Game 1, when the Unleashed deck did its thing, obviously it showed, played out much like I predicted it would play out, but Games 2 and 3, I'm curious to see whether it was just bad variance on Beowulf's part, or if the matchup is really more even than I initially
Even if
thought.
it's
Also,
yeah.
to be fair, I did not catch a lot of that early game 3 as we were trying to fix my technical difficulties.
Yeah.
However, the later stages looked like Almost was able to aggress properly. Also, the Feral Serpent in general, the 3-drop slot might be able to do more work than I initially thought. Maybe make up for no 1 or 2 drop, especially honestly because of the lack of flyers on the other side and the lifesteal that you get from the alchemy student. A turn 3 feral serpent contract into go to your next turn, play your power for the turn, alchemy student
Yeah.
contract on the feral serpent can be incredibly powerful in matchups that come down to a race, as we just saw with Almost.
Yeah. That was the last match. It looks like. So we'll go on to a break, and we'll see you guys back in a little bit.